The horizon over the North Atlantic lies still, yet beneath that calm surface stirs a quiet tension. Every watch aboard a Royal Navy destroyer begins with the same silent discipline. Eyes fixed on radar, ears tuned to comms, minds alert for what the sea might hide. Tonight, those instincts will be tested. As the ship moves through darkness, the radar's soft sweep traces across the screen. A rhythm every sailor knows by heart. Then, a faint signal appears. At first it seems ordinary, a low-speed contact, distant and harmless. But to the practiced eyes on the bridge, its motion feels intentional. Too smooth, too quiet. The officer of the watch leans forward. "Unknown surface contact, bearing 085, he reports calmly. Within seconds, the bridge stirs with activity. Lookouts raise binoculars to the horizon. Optical sensors begin their scan. Long-range cameras narrowing in to find a shape in the fading twilight. The ocean gives nothing back, only the faint shimmer of metal in the distance. Possibly a trawler, someone says, or a research vessel. But the intelligence officer isn't persuaded. He studies the radar track, its pattern, its pace, its unwavering heading. That's not a fishing vessel, that's surveillance movement. The Royal Navy has seen this pattern before. China's so-called research ships, outwardly civilian but fitting with sensors, satellite dishes, and acoustic systems, have been appearing more frequently across international waters. Their true purpose? To monitor, to collect, and to uncover what others wish to keep concealed. Below deck, inside the Combat Information Center, there hums with quiet focus. Analysts cross-check radar returns against known vessel databases. On a secondary screen, an image begins to clarify. A long hull, high antenna arrays, and a silhouette familiar to British intelligence. A Chinese auxiliary surveillance vessel, operating hundreds of miles off its declared course. The captain is notified at once. The tension aboard rises subtly. He orders, maintain heading, will observe and record. Professional calm replaces uncertainty. Every sailor settles into routine. Electronic warfare teams activate the receivers, scanning for emissions, faint bursts, encrypted signals pulsing through the ether. Slowly, the puzzle begins to align. Through the bridge glass, the distant vessel glints faintly under the moonlight. Tranquil, almost beautiful against a dark sea. Yet every sailor watching knows what that column hides. Encounters like this are not random. They are messages, each movement deliberate, every mile an act of quiet assertion. The Royal Navy moves with precision and restraint, habits earned through centuries at sea. But in this age of constant observation and gray zone tactics, composure is as essential as readiness. The Chinese vessel's position is no mistake. It is a test, measuring not only reaction, but resolve. As the hours pass, the contact holds steady, matching the destroyer's course and speed, maintaining its distance with mechanical patience.
The crew tracks it silently, eyes sharp, hearts calm, aware of every detail. In the darkness, two warships share the same stretch of sea, one watching, one defending its right to operate unchallenged. Between them lies the invisible boundary between vigilance and provocation. The captain bends over the chart table, marking the course with a steady hand. "We'll see how close they plan to get," he says quietly. Night deepens. The encounter is underway. By sunrise, the ocean looks calm again, but tension aboard the Royal Navy destroyer has only hardened. The unidentified vessel still lingers on radar, patient, methodical, matching every move. The data confirms what the analysts already know. This is no coincidence. It's deliberate. It's surveillance. Inside the Combat Information Center, displays shimmer with streams of data. Sonar echoes, signal spikes, thermal returns. The Electronic Warfare Division narrows its search, isolating faint but recognizable frequencies, evidence of active sweeps from the Chinese vessel. They're listening, recording, and quietly testing the perimeter of Allied awareness. Confirmed intelligence collection activity, the technician announces. The captain's voice is steady, deliberate. Continue monitoring. No response unless engaged. Above deck, binoculars catch the dim morning light. Through them, the foreign vessel takes shape. A white hull with civilian markings crowned with clusters of antennas. No naval flag flies, but its intent is unmistakable. The crew recognizes the outline instantly, a Type 815 spy ship, one of China's most capable intelligence-gathering platforms. For the Royal Navy, such meetings are no longer rare. These vessels appear near NATO drills, along maritime choke points, even inside exclusive economic zones. Always watching, always charting. The pattern is subtle, yet intentional. Measure reaction, record emissions, and learn Western procedures, all without crossing into open confrontation. The captain issues the order for radio silence. From now on, minimize all comms. No chatter, no redundant signals. Keep our electronic profile cold. Aye, sir. The communications officer shifts frequencies, securing all channels and powering down secondary systems. The destroyer sinks into controlled silence. From orbit, this part of the ocean looks deserted. Two small ships adrift in a vast blue void. Yet below that calm surface, an invisible contest unfolds. The Royal Navy sensors trace every shift, every sonar return, while U.S. satellites above follow both ships in real time. Across encrypted networks, data flows between London, Washington, and Allied commands throughout the Indo-Pacific. This is 21st century deterrence. Not a contest of firepower, but of precision, information, and restraint. As the Chinese vessel narrows the gap, the bridge remains composed. The officer of the watch notes readings calmly. He's still pacing our course and speed. The captain nods once. Let them observe. We hold discipline.
The ship's photographer steps out onto the deck, camera braced against the wind. Every shot serves a purpose. Documentation of presence, professionalism, and resolve. The Chinese vessel glows faintly against the horizon, its sensors revolving in slow mechanical arcs. HMS Diamond continues forward, steady and proud, the Union Jack lifting sharply in the sea breeze. Time stretches. Logs are compiled. Situation reports reach the Ministry of Defense, NATO Maritime Command, and the U.S. 7th Fleet. Diplomats in London and Washington prepare statements, already crafting the message. A routine observation, handled with composure, ensuring the freedom of navigation in international waters. But for those aboard, nothing about it feels routine. Every decision is deliberate, every silence purposeful. This is confrontation in its modern form. Quiet, exact, psychological. In the captain's quarters, the mood is thoughtful. He scans the latest update from Fleet Operations Command. The summary is brief but clear. U.S. forces have detected similar surveillance ships shadowing carriers near Guam and Okinawa. The pattern is unmistakable. A network spanning from the South China Sea to the Atlantic. He lowers the file, expression unreadable. Then we're part of their message. Outside, the Chinese ship veers slightly, drawing closer once more. By late afternoon, the North Atlantic sun glows low over the waves, painting long golden streaks across HMS Diamond's deck. The air hums with quiet alertness, a poised stillness that precedes decision. The Chinese surveillance ship continues its parallel path, mirroring every maneuver, every shift. It's an old dance, but in this era of silent rivalry, its implications have never been greater. High above the Pacific, a U.S. Navy P-8A Poseidon cuts through the horizon.
its sensors silently mapping the vast ocean beneath. Within moments, encrypted signals ripple across secure networks to the Royal Navy destroyer below, updating contacts, refining threat levels, confirming both identity and intent. The two Allied vessels are now linked in a single digital heartbeat, a unified operation unfolding beneath the quiet scrutiny of Beijing and Moscow alike. Quote, Poseidon identifies Type 815, active ELINT pattern confirmed, unquote. The message rides the secure Link 16 data stream, NATO's invisible nervous system. Quote, copy, replies the tactical officer aboard HMS Diamond, holding passive, no emissions, unquote. From London, the directive is crisp. De-escalate but document. From Washington, observe but never yield, unquote. Minutes later, radar plots another contact, the USS John Finn, a guided missile destroyer approaching deliberately from the east. She is still miles away, but her course is purposeful. The signal is unmistakable. The Royal Navy is not alone. The Pacific, though vast, is a shared theater, and the alliance still stands.
High above the Pacific, a U.S. Navy P-8A Poseidon cuts through the horizon, its sensors silently mapping the vast ocean beneath. Within moments, encrypted signals ripple across secure networks to the Royal Navy destroyer below, updating contacts, refining threat levels, confirming both identity and intent. The two Allied vessels are now linked in a single digital heartbeat, a unified operation unfolding beneath the quiet scrutiny of Beijing and Moscow alike. Poseidon identifies Type 815 active ELINT pattern confirmed. The message rides the secure Link 16 data stream, NATO's invisible nervous system. Copy, replied the tactical officer aboard HMS Diamond, holding passive, no emissions. From London, the directive is crisp. De-escalate but document. From Washington, observe but never yield. Minutes later, radar plots another contact, the USS John Finn, a guided missile destroyer, approaching deliberately from the east. She is still miles away, but her course is purposeful. The signal is unmistakable. The Royal Navy is not alone. The Pacific, though vast, is a shared theater, and the alliance still stands. On the bridge, the captain raises his binoculars, catching a glimpse of the faint gray silhouette slicing through the haze. There she is, he murmurs. The American destroyer responds not with radio, but with light. A deliberate flash for her mast. The old mariner's code of solidarity. No words needed. The meaning is clear. To the Chinese vessel shadowing nearby, the message lands differently. This is no solitary patrol. You are being watched by not one navy, but by many. Below decks, the operations room hums with restrained energy. Analysts trace shifting positions across their glowing displays, turning the sea into a living chessboard. Every move by the Chinese surveillance ship prompts a measured reply. Not aggression, but balance. The Royal Navy answers provocation, not with noise, but with precision. Engines pulse with steady rhythm as radar sweeps paint arcs across the dark screens. The destroyer's crew keeps to routine, disciplined, composed. Even the simple ritual of brewing tea feels deliberate, a quiet defiance against uncertainty. In the heart of tension, professionalism remains the anchor. Hours later, a secured voice link connects the British captain and the American commander. Calm voices, no strain. Diamond, John Finn, we've got your 6. Copy, John Finn. Channel stays cold. No bravado, just trust, solid and wordless. The two warships now glide in formation, side by side, slicing through the golden waters as the sun sinks. Their radar dishes rotate in unison,
Their ensigns, the white ensign and the stars and stripes, catching the evening wind. Reports travel swiftly to NATO Maritime Command in Northwood. Situation briefs reach London and Washington by dawn. No alarms raised. This is deterrence by demonstration. Diplomacy written not in words, but in motion. As darkness settles, the dynamic shifts. The Chinese vessel's pace falters. One by one, its sensors fade from the technical display. Perhaps it has gathered enough intelligence, or perhaps it has read the message clearly. For the Allied ships, this is not triumph, it is endurance. No celebration, no confrontation, only vigilance. This is how modern deterrence works. Measured, steady, quietly unbreakable. On the horizon, John Finn alters course, aligning perfectly beside Diamond to escort her through contested waters. Their radar dishes rotate in unison, their ensigns, the white ensign and the stars and stripes, catching the evening wind. In silence, the message carries farther than any transmission. Unity at sea is not proclaimed, it is lived. As the Pacific sky fades to indigo, two silhouettes remain, steadfast and unyielding, guardians of an unspoken order. No threats, no retreat, just presence, calm, exact, and resolute. From London to Washington, one truth resonates across the waves. Allied strength does not need to announce itself. It simply sails.